All right, are we good? So make sure
Yeah.
that okay. After that, if you want to continue the course after like a couple of lock-in, you have to enter the financial code, which is right here. So each person gonna have a 2 week section. I mean, you cannot relock in, create a new account. It will not continue your work. So you're gonna create this code. So you're gonna have this code for 2 weeks. Okay. And after that, and then the Alex system gonna ask you to uh, do the initial knowledge check. So this worth 0 point. It doesn't count to your grade. However, um, I mean, some people might skip all the question, but I just want to test you the knowledge. I just want to see like how much familiar you are with the topics, like statistical analysis, like some question regarding to mean, mode, median, standard deviations, all of that. If you don't understand it, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so you're gonna do that uh, until today, and then objective is a very important part of the assignments. So you're gonna have the objective one and two due by September 10th. So, and the question is it's not quite easy at all. So it's gonna include like from chapter one and chapter two and chapter three. I'm gonna post the notes on Brightspace soon. Definitely gonna go over some of these questions in class. So let me just put out the deadline. So you can also find the deadline under course timeline, which what I posted. So there'll be no class on Saturday and Sunday on August, well, which is clear from what we have. Let me just go for this quickly. Okay, so today you can start working on it, like objective one and two, but I know that it's going to be a lot work. So we're definitely going to go over many of these questions until you're familiar with that. Okay. And it will be due on September 10th. So after the date is closed, uh, we're going to have the exams. The third exam should be like 2 days after the objective was closed. So let me just put out the deadline real quick. Close on September 10. I'm gonna remind you like every, like a week before it is closed. And then the exam one will start 2 days after. Okay. All right. So the exam usually focus on the number of questions that we have completed on the objective one and two. Okay. Exams one, focus on it's literally include all the questions from objective, like some question, not all question. right? So it's they going to pick like, like a few questions, but not all the questions. So if you did it by yourself, like on your own, and you should be fine. You should be able to do the third exams quickly. I mean, I'm not asking you guys to memorize it, but basically it's going to be, I mean, if you sit on the computer long enough, you should be able to get through all of this. Okay, but like I said, I don't want people to just like sit for the whole day just trying to understand this question, which is why I'm definitely going to go over all of these topics from objective one and two. There's so many of them. I would say objective one and two, they have more than, like 15 topics. So, which is not quite easy. I would say 21 to 22 topics. So going over every single question like that take a long time. So I might have to like, you know, quickly go through it. And then if you have question, please ask. And I might have to go in many different versions, just making sure that if you caught of this question like that, this version like that, you know the answer immediately, right? And the same thing for objective one, there are more than 25 topics on the way. So that's a lot of them, right? So, and then on the third exam, you will have like 20 questions or 18 questions. I don't quite remember. I will let you know um, before that. So they will pick like some from objective one and some from objective two, and then they're gonna combine them. Are we good? So, um, if you if if we go to the syllabus here, and then you definitely gonna see uh the module is worth 35%. So if you complete them on time, I will remind people, I just want to make sure that people understand this. If you complete this, right, on time, you're gonna get additional 10%. Uh every single thing, every single objective, like from objective one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay. And Alex gonna do the math for me. You don't have to worry about that. The knowledge checks is simply it's gonna count the final knowledge check. It's not the initial knowledge check. So the initial one just basically testing your knowledge. So you don't have to worry about that. The final knowledge check will be worth 5% to your final grade. The video assignment is just for fun. If you can watch it, that's great. If you cannot watch it, it's perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about that. There will be four exams. The first two exams is worth like 10%. The exam three, exam four, each worth 5% to your final grade. Um, if you want to have the mix of exams, so you need to contact uh, the Hunter Testing Center. So I really want to make sure that people are gonna um, take the exams in on Zoom. Okay, uh, so the exam on Zoom is very important, and making sure that you're gonna have your cameras, right? Have your phones. You have to lock in your phone, right? With Zoom, and then after that, we're going to point your camera to the screen, something like that, and the table, you know, and making sure that there's no other electronics, right? No other electronics on a table. Well, you don't necessarily have to show the student ID, just making sure we have it just in case. Okay, so this is how we're going to take the exams. Are we good? Is that clear? So, and then making sure that you have a Zoom and then pointing camera to the screen table with the laptop. computer on the table. Okay. Okay. And then so the module's like objective is worth like 35% of your grade. So that is a very important part uh that you're going to do. So if everything finishes on time, additional 10% would be awarded. The system gonna help me calculate it so you don't have to worry about this. Okay. Any question? So, and then the exams is gonna be like four exams, right? So that'd be 30%, uh, four exams in total. The knowledge check, usually the final knowledge check, is worth 5%. If you really want to do well, especially when you are in the nursing major, I strongly encourage you to take that 5%, right? So it's very important. If you don't do it, you're gonna lose 5%. So we're gonna have like 2 days to complete the final knowledge check on the computer and to complete the whole pipe. And the final exam is also on Zoom. We also have data dates. So this is the thing that you're gonna have four data days, right? Initially, I want people to do an SPSS, but later on, I found out that in order to get the free software, we have to go through a lot of procedures. Like we have to go to the math department and request that, and so on and so forth. So I changed that to JASP, so you can download the JASP on your computer. So just simply go to the website today, right? So this is a totally free statistical software. Okay, so I have it here just like that. So you can get new data or you can open. I'm gonna give you like some files to practice, something like that. And then you can uh you definitely gotta play around with those functions. I'll show you how to do it. Uh Models, some kind of models, frequency table, which on data day three, something like that. It's very easy to play with, just go for that, for example. I'll let you know what it is. And then it's automatically generate like a certain charge like this. And then you can go to statistic and click on certain things that you want to know. You want to have the mode, the medians, the standard deviations, the IQR. Okay, so I just have like a few clicker, but you need to like write, explain to me. And so I will let you know, I'll post it on the data date. I'll let you know what it is. But please download it today. So it's totally free software. So each data date will be 5% of your grade. Okay. And the final exam is also on Alex. So the final exam should be on Alex. So you don't have to worry about that. That we're going to class to take the final. So this is 10%. Are we good? So the only thing that concerned me is that people might forget like to take the final knowledge check, which is 5% of your grade. It's open on December 20 until December 21st. I'm gonna keep on reminding you that please do it. It's 5%. And before we take the exam, make sure you're gonna download the test lockdown browser so we have to try on one questions and see how it works. All right, guys. Any questions? Any concern? Are we good?
Yeah,
All right. So if if we miss out on the deadline for the objective, we can continue on it. We can continue, right? But we don't. You won't be rewarded with 10%, um, uh, additional 10%. You can continue to finish it, all the assignments. I believe, no, I believe so, but it's only give us like 10%, right? If we complete half, you would get 12.5%, 12.5 points by completing half, and additional 10% for having 10% completion. Um, I have a little typo. I'm gonna fix that by the end of semester, so the total will be 22.5 out of 35, right? So for example, I'm gonna give you one example, right? For example, so we finish like 80% of the objective. Okay. So 80% of 35 is which is 28 points, right? Out of 35 first. And then we finished, and then we finished the rest. 20%, right? At the end of semester, for example, right? Or somewhere else. I don't know. So that's 10 points. But it should not exceed it should not exceeding like 35 point for that reason. Um so you finish the rest 20% of the end of semester. So 20% you're gonna get like 7 out of 35. And then you might get about like 6 or 5 points, something like that, right? So 4 or 5 point would be added to the objective. Okay. So it's they have like a very weird calculation. You're definitely gonna get it. I have a student I'll show you maybe tomorrow, and then she finished around like 95, and then her exam was like, like 65 or 40 or sometimes. And yet she did pretty well on the final exams and exam four, and then she got an A minus. So it's if you complete all the data day on time and then complete all the requirements, I think that's pretty good for that. Okay. Um, so objective is very important. And then uh, if you don't have much time to sit on the computer to do the objectives, just try to pay attention to your class, and they're definitely going to go over a lot of these questions, and I will let you know each version, right? And okay, so the independent datas is also very important. I just forgot to put this here. Independent datas projects. So this one is worth like nothing. But I give out I give out like 2%. So this is like require for student who want to earn an A or A plus. Okay. So for independent data set projects, if we don't do it, right? If we don't do it, the maximum grade we will get is an A minus. Okay. So there's no exceptions for that. So this is a very important thing, I would say. So let's say you get 100% on everything, but you don't complete the independent project. So you know, you don't get, you don't get an A plus, you don't get an A. So the only thing you can get would be the maximum grade you can get would be an A minus. And I believe the independent project is going to help us understand the data much better, in the sense that, well, you know how to put them all into a statistical report and how we're going to write it good. Um, so, and if we do the independent project, 2% uh, extra credit will be added to the final grade. Okay, so you get 2 points regardless of your grade. So let's say your grade B plus. So you do this project, you might, or get like an A minus for this class if you do the project at the end of the semester. We're definitely going to give you the fire for that. Okay. Okay, so we also have like extracurricular things, like which is 5 points. You're gonna get 2 points for the data analysis, like independent data analysis. You need to sign up for handshakes, right? Just go to handshake Hunter College, and then we just have to click on this. But this is just for the jobs or internships. You just have to click on join handshakes right here. And then you just have to click on join handshake now. You file your school or something. I would say you have to type CUNY Hunter. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, yeah, we got it here. And then Yeah, it's not hard. So this is like 1% at your points. Okay. So this is 1%. So all you have to do is just sign in, right? I'm not sure if you have to sign with your Hunter credentials or not, but you definitely have to do so. And then after that, you're gonna take a screenshot and submit it on Brightspace. I'm gonna I'm gonna make it available today. Um, so just in case you have question. All right, I'm gonna give you like 1 out of 1, something like that. As long as you submit it by any time, so I'll make sure to take a screenshot, right? After submission. Sure. After signing in and submit it, right? Okay. This is like 1%. Any question? And also a 10 is going to be 2%. All right. I feel like that's pretty much it. So that is 5%. Will be added to your final grades. Any question, any concern?
I have a question.
All right.
So, for all the assignments, is it like we do it at our own pace? So, like, are you gonna post as the like weeks go by?
If you click on it, it's gonna go like one by one questions. So let's say if I if I go over a question, for example, some of these questions just like click, what is the population? What is the sample? And then after that, I would try another questions. If the question is easy, just move forward. If the topic is hard, I can just try another version. But for you guys, if you get it wrong, uh, the Alex going to ask you to go back to that topics until you master that, until you get it right. And you might see some similar topics on the later objectives for some reason. So they just want to remind us this is what you have learned in the previous chapter. You might see them again. Um, that's kind of weird, but this happening on on objective 4 and 5. So they just have like different topics that repeats from objective 3, objective 2. Um, but the first two objective is generally quite easy. It's just a certain knowledge that you have to know about the population ensemble. What do you mean for population have to go with parameters and sample have to go with statistics. And what is that? And after that, you need to know about the some types of data, right? Continuous versus discrete data sets. And all of them can be filed under chapter 1 and 2. But it's not a lot of things because Alec is very precise. It's just have all the things that you need to know. This one just like general notes, like population parameters, sample statistics, variables, levels of measurements. I definitely gonna go over that. Any questions? Any concern? Um, if you work on the initial knowledge check, I suggest you finish it by today because that's very important. Even I mean, it's even if it's not worth anything, but it's just testing you how much you understand the material that you have in your high school uh stat level, and then you haven't taken stat any if you haven't taken any stat course, you just know okay, it's time to do it. That's perfectly fine. All right.
Wait, you said finish what today? Sorry, I missed that.
You finished the initial knowledge check by today.
Okay, and it's posted already, right?
Yeah, it should be there. The first thing you have to do gonna be the initial knowledge check, which is uh uh it's worth worth 0 point to the final grade, but like I said, it's prerequisite, right?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Course. Okay. It should be there. If you register your class, it should be there. Right here. I do not have access to that because it doesn't count your grade. The status open. All right. Um, so now, because like I said, the course is very intensive because it has so many different topics you have to cover. Like, even if it doesn't really cover the conceptual part, but it should uh you need to be educated with like data sets, right? Inputs, outputs, and all of this. So let me just go some topics, right? So this is chapter one and two and three is on module objective one and two. I'm gonna I'm gonna post the notes for chapter two and three for chapter three tonight. Um so this one we have to go the first one we have to do is gonna be the difference between uh population and sample. Okay. So I just want to quickly remind you what it is, and so we can learn it on Alex. But like I said, I just want to let you know what it is. So populations include all individuals, um, of right, right, include all individuals of the sets. A sample is a subset of a population. Population. Um, well, sample is just it's not like we just have to pick it on your own. There's a lot of techniques require to be used. So sample, um, the statistician must apply certain techniques because sampling techniques, um, to form a sample, right? And so population have to go with parameters, plus population parameter versus sample statistics. Where, for example, we're going to have like the average income of Americans in 2020. Zero is 75K, for example, right? So the population parameters is average income is 75K, right? Um, all Americans. But if you pick a sample, so the average incomes of like 20 randomly selected Americans as 68K, for example. So this is sample statistics. All right. So so the population that we have is so the population is in this case. The population is all Americans, right? The sample is 20 people, 20 randomly selected Americans. All right. So let me just go back to the question. Right, you just have to read the questions and it should be so the population should be all people, right? All full-time nurses. And then the samples should be 20 randomly chosen nurses. That's obvious. The parameters, so whenever you see the word all, right, its parameters represent a population. So that's percentage. That's the proportion, but that's the mean proportion, whatever is parameter focus on the entire population. And so the average of 6.268 per year taken among randomly chosen nurses. So that's statistics. Randomly, five people chosen nurses who are married. That's also statistics. Check. So you can get correct. You can try another ones and so on and so forth. But I feel like this one is relatively easy, correct? Yeah. Whenever I see the word all, I basically I really wanted people like identify the keywords because if you know exactly what the keywords are and then you never miss out any question, any points. The exam is I forgot to mention the exam is an hour and 15 minutes. Uh, it's not about the keywords. The keyword only applies when we when we try to master on the objective. We try to like get like good point in statistics. Statistic is different topics. It's just basically related to uh getting randomly sample uh a small group of people of individuals, and then we try to focus on the analysis. You test on it. I mean, we hypothesize it. We try to draw a conclusion from a small sample on the population. So that's our main goal. Um, right. But anyway, I feel like that's pretty straightforward for that part. Uh, I can also ask the system to help me solve it. So the first topic is relatively straightforward. Um, yeah. So let me just point it out. Um, Hasha just basically pointed out saying that whenever see all, its parameters, but parameter represent like a certain characteristic of the population, like average proportions, right? School left, school right, and then whenever see some, it's statistics, randomly selected or random. Okay. Let me go back to this, and you gotta go to classif. You have to classify the variables. So there are two types of variables. Let me just go to that. Okay. We have quantitative, which is called categorical, and uh, quantitative, I'm sorry, qualitative. I apologize. This is numerical versus qualitative data. This is categorical. All right. So different books, they have different uses, but they mean the same thing. So, but for our text, we basically use the word uh, quantitative and categorical. So let's say durations. When it's involving some numbers, but not all numbers, so we have to be extremely careful, right? Numbers. But not the zip code, just like 11001 is not something that we consider as numerical data sets, right? So that's numerical. I would say it's relatively straightforward. So non-numbers, and this is categorical is if something that we should we if but if you don't want to make mistakes on it, if you make mistakes on the objective, it's just ask you to go back to the topics and have you do it again and again until you master it. Durations in minutes, so it's quantitative. The stop price, no, it's a categorical. It's a high U, medium U, and low U. Is it classify three different types: names, categoricals, anxiety, um, categorical as well. Like, so you're gonna have like anxious, something like that. Okay. All right. So we can have like some names. I'll let you know. And then we have for level of measurement. Um, for for the quantitative, we have what we can do with because, like I said, this class is very intensive. I would try to do as much I can. So the earlier I start the objective, the more topics I can go over. So the less time that you spend on your screen. I mean, if you have enough time to spend on it, let's say this one, the estimated time that you should spend sitting on a computer to do all of these questions will be 3 hours and 18 minutes. You should expect to have like this. Some people spend like more, some people spend less. And for the second objective, it will be 4 hours. There was some objective four. The hardest one is 7 hours. So that's a lot. Not to include that you might make some mistakes on it. You might have to go back to the topics. That's a lot of time. So remember that the sooner we start, um, the better, right? So I'll let you go soon after this. We also have like two level of measurement. The lowest one we call nominal data. So this one nominal and this one ordinal data set. And this one is interval and this one is a ratio. The highest ones are is a ratio of data. The normal data set is the lowest level. So that's include like names, major or something like that, brands, so on and so forth, even the zip code, right? And the only data is simply include, let me just use different markers. I would say they have classified like the level of anxiety that we had earlier, right? So they have whenever it's the rating of the movie, something like this, it has like different level, like from low to high, something like that. Like the hotel star, right? Like five-star hotel up compared to four-star hotel. The interval, so this is like so the honor level is just like they're gonna create some difference, but not the exact difference. Okay. Create some difference, but not the exact difference. But not exact different. So even if I mean you can say, well, you have like the rating is like 1 to 10, something like that, but we don't know if like five-star, like six-star movie actually better than seven-star movie in general. They don't have the same difference, obviously. Um, the interval is on the other hand is like gonna create the same difference, right? But they don't count like multiply or divide, just let's say temperature. The keyword for that we call temperature. And finally, the ratio is include everything, right? Anything that's count, like stock price, income, a GPA, something like that, height, weight, anything that's on the scale, right? Scale. All right. So you need to know like so the amount of pounds of weight needed to break a breach. So this is amount, something that um we can count it, right? So it's just quantitative. The weight is just racial. Color vision status is a categorical, is nominal level. Anxiety rating is categorical and ordinal level. Are we good? So you can try another one. So playing time, quantitative, racial level, occupations, categorical, nominal level. Something that we involving some rate is kind of tricky. So is categorical, is the ordinal level. That's it just simply have like different level, but they don't have like the same differences. That's the thing. Okay, are we good? All right, so we finished the first three level, the first three topics. Any question? All right, so if you start working on the objective, you're more than welcome to do so. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. We can continue the objective, I would say on Friday. It will be 2%. Um, attendance, it will be worth 2% counted to your final grade. I have the sheet right here. I'm gonna call the names. I'll let you go. I'm making sure that you're gonna you got two things to do. You're gonna download the JASP and don't forget to sign in the handshake. Um, at Hunter College, that's 1%. added to your final grade. Um, 1% means a lot. Let's say you got 89%, so you're gonna take 1% on average. You got an A minus. All right, that's pretty much it. Any question? All right, guys. So, sure, sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's right here. I just want to remind you that the exam questions include some, but not all questions from objective one and two, right? So they will randomly pick some topics from objective one and from objective two. If you master all the topics, you come to class, I will go over it. You should be fine. I will post the notes, of course. I will post it on um what's the notes. You have to go to content. I will post it under lecture notes. Today is August 26th. And then all we have to do is just upload all of these notes. Um, okay, something like that. Are we good? All right, guys. So if there's no question, let me take attendance. Jasminer. Okay. You will literally see that the attendance sheet. I cannot post it. So you're gonna have like around those attendance. You're gonna keep adding up toward the end of semester, and it converted to 2% at your credit points. Malika is not here, right? Annie,
Here.
Rachel,
Here.
Selena. Okay, Hashan. Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, Samina. Got you. Sarah, Alexis. Uh, yeah, you have to do that. You definitely have to do that. The initial knowledge check is it's not count towards your grade, but it's a very important process um, to check your prior knowledge. Yi Gao's here. Now, objective one and two uh is due on September 10, which is but that's a lot of topics, I can tell. It's around like 2 weeks or something, maybe two, yeah, 2 weeks, maybe 2 more weeks. Okay, let me just continue on the attendance. Yi is not here. Marlon, yeah, I would definitely gonna do that. It's just save your time. I mean, if you have time to sit on the screen like for 10 hours, you should be fine. But if you don't, it's then that's the big problem. Marlon's here. Jocelyn,
Here.
Valerie,
Here.
Nanny here.
Here.
Nicole,
Here.
Tina, Ariana. No. Nicole. I put the names here. If you can't, if
Here.
all right. If you can't see your name, just let me know. Karen, meet her.
Here.
Amama,
Here.
gotcha. Lisa,
Here.
Sharon, Catherine.
Here. For Kiara.
Oh, Kiara. I'm so sorry. Chloe,
Here.
Elkin,
Here.
Yeli, Got you. Oh, you can just type if you don't mind. Type. I can just go up and Dammers, William, Will
Yeah.
is here. Got you. Lean, Leon, Leon's here. All right. So Ariana is here. Anyone else that I did not mark you present? Um, all right. I feel that's pretty much for today. So now once we come back on Friday, we're definitely gonna go over many, many topics. We try to finish objective one by this week. Okay. Um, but it's not required. If you cannot finish all the topic, but I would urge you to do it like as soon as you can. So, and then my ultimate goal is just trying to get you guys do well in this class. That's pretty much all we need to do. All right. That's it. If there's no question, I will see you on Friday. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.